And yes, here we go. Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Festive Tech Calendar 2025. Thank you, Greg Mate, for organizing all of this. Sorry for my delay, a little bit delay of this session, and thank you for the understanding. Yeah, thank you all for watching this and supporting the Festive Tech Calendar. And before we jump into the session itself, I would like to wish happy holidays to everyone and yeah, enjoy basically on the New Year, the Christmas Eve, and all the stuff with your friends and family. Yeah, I think we can go with the session. Before we start and go deep dive, yeah, small or short introduction. My name is Martin. I'm working already 20 years in this IT industry. In the last couple of months or the last year and a half, yeah, I'm working as a team lead in the CISO department of the DevOps security team and responsible for the security capabilities within the software development lifecycle on the DevOps way of working. Such a weird terminology. Doesn't matter. But yeah, this year was quite challenging and before I go to that, yeah, that's it. That's me, if I may call it like that, to do not be unstructured. Let's call it like that. As I said, 20 years of IT experience, trainer, Microsoft community lead, Gartner ambassador, blah, 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 team lead, and all that stuff. And yeah, I wanted to share our journey this 2025 when it comes to the AI, of course, because one of the most important buzzword it is for 2025. So my focus, and this year we were creating something from security side, or to do not be one more obstacle within the DevOps way of working. So within our team, we decided to create something that is called AI Guardrail, which will cover the security stuff and do the things on the right way without being an obstacle, without being problem creator to the DevOps teams and all that stuff. So I have created some slides where I think it will help to all of you that are still struggling where to start, what to do, and all of those things. So today's session, it's building a guardrail for a safer holiday, if I may call it like that. And then you can enjoy on the holiday, of course, if you created everything on the right way. Yeah, even Santa this year needs AI, and basically the AI helped Santa to create a nice predictions, to make a workshop logistics, gift inventory, and all that stuff. So Santa also started using AI. But then something really unexpected happened, and basically Copilot went really rogue. And yeah, sensitive gift data was leaked on the internet. Then the GPS rerouted to Antarctic. After that, the workshop. So there was no workshop. There were 25 coffee breaks, by the way. And yeah, the payroll of elves was, of course, leaked on the internet. Yeah, also Santa can have problems, so he called us as experts and basically on how he can protect himself, because the next year AI will stay with us and we need to secure all of our data, all of the stuff, and all the applications that are there. So what we will talk about today, as I said, how it went, the AI guardrail creation, what were the lessons learned, if I may call it like that. And yeah, I think now we can go. Yeah, what we have see and what we have do indeed with the AI and why we need the guardrails when it comes to the AI, or maybe one guardrail that covers more topics. That was the approach that we took. And for example, yeah, we saw exposing of the data, of course, unsafe decisions, new vulnerabilities are coming, and yeah, there is, but also coming new, but also automation of the risk at scale. I think we're quite a bit of far away, but that's some projection that I have in my mind, that I think it will come to that period in the next or the year after, where we need to automate the risk at scale. So when we discussed about AI guardrail, again, it's not one more security control that will be obstacle for the DevOps teams or for the software development lifecycle, but we really are looking forward to make it something that will help to the developers basically to build a safe applications that will have a predictive and to have a trust. I think that's the most important thing, especially when it comes to work with a lot of people. And basically, it will help basically in the creation of a new stuff, improvement, and doing the things to the right way. So after a lot of discussions, also with my colleagues, but also with the DevOps teams, we came to something that we come with the three subcategories on top of the AI guardrail. So the AI guardrail itself contains three types of categories, and those are preventive, detective, and responsive guardrail. So what's the meaning of it? Because maybe just a side note for those, because we know that a lot of changes are happening within a lot of organizations. So also on the platform side, because somehow we see a directions platform engineering and all of that stuff. That's why we decided to go on this type of direction, meaning that there will be AI guardrail in place, but depends what's the next step. For example, to have a separate categorization about what need to be done from security side, because not every time for some AI application need to go through the same process about AI security guardrail. Maybe there is already an application on the same platform, so the team don't need to do the same journey again and again, and just to change the LLM model and all of those things. But back to the story. This is just as a side note, and that there was a challenges also while creating this guardrail. So we have preventive, detective, and responsive. When we discuss for all of these things, or when it comes to the preventive, of course, the first and the most important, it's airbag. Basically, who have access, where is the access, and all of these things. Input filtering and sanitization, we included that also on the preventive side because we think it will help quite a lot, especially with sanitization of the models and all of those things. The prompt governance, we are still work in progress. It's around 85-90% done, if I may be honest. And I think till New Year or in the next 1-2 weeks, we will have that in place. Policy-driven actions are 100% in place, and basically everything that they need to execute and to do the stuff, it's policy-based. The next story or the next step that need to be done, and basically from the developers, it's called detective guardrail. So they need to have in place a monitoring tool. In this case, we use Sentinel, and basically the logs, especially if the application it's with sensitive data and all of these things, we need to have, of course, anomaly alerts enabled on that side. But also a drift detection and, of course, the prompt and response analysis. The prompt and response analysis was quite a challenging stuff on the detective guardrail to detect the prompt and response, basically what is happening and what type of an answer it will be given. So we also, maybe as a bonus that I didn't put in the slide, is that we already put alert. For now, there is a lot of alerts, I must be honest, but we are learning every day because a lot of changes are happening, and basically we are putting in place the things that we see on the other side, how the people mature and how they put the prompt, how they react or act on the analysis that they get, and what's the next step, and all of those things. So on the detective side, we use a lot of the monitoring side. It's quite a lot of money and a lot of alerts, but we want really to recognize what is happening, how it's going, and then there is this how it's called 1 month period where we want to sit again together after New Year and to see this happened, that happened, and then to make some conclusions. So we added the prompt analysis, basically, and the response analysis. We're still not finalized. But I think it's good to mention that and good to share that I think most of the organization doesn't matter if it's a small, medium, corporate, or whatever. Basically, they need to have all of this. The next or the last thing that we created within the AI guardrail is something that it's quite a famous term now in the last 2-3 months, which is called an incident playbook. So we put the name just to not be a buzzword like on the internet, to be responsive guardrail, or what action we need to do when this, or if something goes wrong, if I may call it like that. So what we have done, the first thing is to have a rollback. The second decision that we have done is basically that the human will stay in the loop when it comes to this, because we need the people, of course. And yeah, the next thing that we are still depends on the application, is still in the creation phase. So basically, some of these pieces, if I may call it like that, they're not 100%, but we are almost there. It's 90%. So the incident playbook, or what is the next step? For example, approvals, where this problem need to be escalated, what it happens if this goes wrong, what if the restore fail, this and that. So it's so many details, because also in the big organizations, the applications are not just one person application, but it's really connected with so many pieces and to create the big picture. So the main thing from this, if I may call it like that, I know it sounds very simple now, but if I remember how big the table was with nodes and how many stuff also my colleagues put it on the table, I think we need to have this, that, and all of that stuff. So then it becomes really overwhelming for the DevOps teams. So on the AI guardrail itself, it contains like one big piece, but within the AI guardrail, we created 3 different categories, which is preventive, detective, and responsive guardrail. Meaning of all of that, and that's why I mentioned a couple of minutes ago that what we saw also changing to the platform engineering, meaning that on one platform you can have more models or more AI application, means that, for example, if one team went through the whole software development lifecycle and finished the journey and the application is up and running, if they store another application on the same platform, they don't need to go on the same journey. Basically, that journey, it will take 1 month, 2 months, depends on the approvals and all the stuff. Sometimes in the corporate can be quite complicated to get approval, vacations, and that's how it works. So that's why to stop that, and CISO to do not be one more obstacle, or security to do not be one more problem in the building of an application, we said if the application will be stored on this platform where the AI guardrail it's already compliant, they use the security best practices, they use this, they use that, and all of those things. Basically, they need, for example, to be aware and to include the detective guardrail, that they need to have monitoring place, they need to have these alerts, they need to have drift detection, etc., etc. So there is some thoughts, for example, if I may call it like that, like these 3 into one smaller one, which is we didn't want to put as a separate, because then we wanted to exclude the discussion. Yeah, but now what is this? Why we created one more to not become a problem? We created a shorter version, for example, also for that type of solution, because also sometimes we need to be predictable, because we see that the market is going on a little bit on the other side, which is called, as I said, platform engineering. We wanted to stop all of that and basically to be just ready and prepared. So we created, for example, the airbag, the monitor, the alerts, the rollback or the incident playbook to be included. And then if the team or the people that are building that application, they prove, we have these 5 things, check, then they can continue building the application. What is the meaning of all of that is that it will help and it will spend a lot of time to the DevOps teams, and basically, yeah, they can easily continue building the application instead of waiting 200 approvals or and all of that stuff. Coming to the whole story, because we were a little bit not confused, but it was a little bit connecting the dots, as I'm saying. And me as a, of course, a team lead to the DevOps security team, the SecOps team, we needed to find a piece where we will store also the AI stuff, because on the, if for those who remember and working on DevOps way of working, there is or there is not basically AI stuff included. So on the security side, we have, of course, a lot of stuff like threat modeling, secure coding, pen testing, uh, monitoring, what was a security analysis, security audit, and all of those things. So we are saying usually, or how I'm saying it, I'm saying, yeah, we're rewriting the story about the DevOps way of working a little bit, or basically putting some additional stuff within the current security capabilities, but they're not new capabilities. Let me rephrase that, because our idea was to embed all of that within the DevOps way of working, meaning what was relevant for previously without AI, the applications, to be also now the same capabilities to be marketed and to be also relevant for the AI applications. Meaning shift left security on AI pipelines. If they build AI application, they need to start really from the top, meaning that the shift left starts really from the development, and they too need to have threat modeling, to have finished the secure training, to have included the supply chain scanning, SAST, DAST, all that stuff. Basically, on our language, everything that was relevant for the application with non-AI now to be the same for the applications with AI. Meaning that if you use AI, it's okay. If you don't use AI, it's still the same. So we want to include in the same infinite loop, if I may call it like that, the same things that were valid or relevant for the applications, like for the applications 2-3 years ago. We improved that on the one stuff, maybe good to share, because that's when it comes to the monitoring. On the monitoring stuff, what we included as a, it's not a separate, it's also valid for the non-AI application. It's called something like a threat detection, where we have already in place, but now we put it some other rules there, which will be more relevant for the AI application. So we became more strict, let's call it like that. On the evaluation matrix, for example, also now, because we were, if I may call it like that, one of the rare teams, or maybe only the only ones in Europe that can measure the DevOps security maturity within one such a big organization, more than 15,000 people. So this year we also, when it comes to the evaluation maturity, also within the AI security, we included some new stuff. So I think for next year we will also have the results for the AI security maturity, which we will check the results and see on what we need to improve as from security side. What else it's good to mention? We added, as I said, as a first main thing, basically with all of these use cases and AI application, we decided that threat modeling should take a big part here, because it's when the application starts to build. So it's good to catch all of these threats on time, and then later we will redo before goes everything on production, just to clarify if everything is the same, if nothing has changed from the architecture side, from this and that. So shift left, threat modeling, training for the people, what else? The evaluation for measuring, safe deployment and continuous monitoring. I see it the same like previously on the DevOps way. That's why I didn't give so much attention. The new thing is basically I think where the red team it's still working, and I think it's quite beneficial and something new for them is the LLM responses, where they are busy about that and aligning with all of this. Model versioning and rollback capability was there previously, basically on the preventive on the detective, sorry, on the responsive side, sorry. So basically, most of the things were there. We just now adjusted where they will be also relevant for the AI application. Yeah, DevSecOps is the Santa's best team of elves, as it says, and yeah, real world and the AI risks that we saw so far, if I may call it like that. We saw, for example, abusing for some of the allowed actions. We saw sensitive data leakage, not on our side, but in a lot of other companies and worldwide on the internet. I hope we will never be on the news, if I may call it like that, and to be shared that data was leaked from this and this organization. That is the main two things that we saw as a big risk so far, and the mature of the people and how they do, what they do, and so on. But also on our research and analysis, also we saw supply chain attacks on AI plugins, prompt injection vulnerabilities. What else? Autonomous agent misbehavior, which it's completely a new story now with all of the AI agents and all of that stuff. But also, as I said, yeah, those are some of the AI AI risks that basically we will try basically to stop with our type of a solution that we call it AI Guardrail, that contains, as I said, preventive, detective, and responsive playbook. Then we have, yeah, the life cycle and how that will work basically on this with the AI security. As I said, everything is the same. Doesn't matter if your application use AI or not. But what we try to be transparent is basically to be included on the both sides. Meaning that, for example, the discovering phase, where we have identifying systems, data flows, and all of that stuff, that is on the planning phase, if I may call it like that, in the DevOps way of working, where we put the threat modeling and where we discover or identify what can go wrong and what is this, from where this come from, and all that stuff. The second is when we try to protect, basically on the previous discussion from the discover, we're trying now to protect even from the development stage, and that is the when the shift left is coming, and we want to include all of that, even there the guardrails. And saying all of this, I know it will sound like, yeah, it's Martin, it's boring because everyone says shift left and all. No, but we really wanted now to spend some time on that, and later on production really to be smooth, if I may call it. No surprises, let's call it like that. That is what we are trying to achieve, because lessons learned from the previous years, what we saw, yeah, the people were, how it's called, fake it till you make it. The people were saying, we have this, we have that, and then in production, they got surprise of this and that. So we're really trying now, and including a person there from our side that will help, for example, to the DevOps teams, people, you need to follow this, there is this checklist, you need to do check this, you need to do this, and all of this stuff. After they do the guardrail and they see, yeah, it's a good one, and then we continue, the policies aligned and all this stuff, we go for a detection. Basically, even on the testing environment, acceptance, we already use the monitoring and anomaly detection just to see what can go wrong. So basically, you, if I may call it, just the developers, but also we from the security side to be aware, okay, this can pop up, this can pop up, and all of those things. On the response, we still, with some of the threats and detection that we got from the alerts so far, it was not a big risk, or if I may call high, it was mostly medium and low. So we are quite confident on the things that we are building. So far on the applications that are internet exposed, if I may call it like that. So far, it goes really by the best practices, how we can respond to them, how we can fix that, what type of actions. We were quite prepared, if I may call it like that. So there was no surprises. Maybe here what we added as a side note that we must follow the latest vulnerabilities, CVEs, latest trends, let's call it like that, latest threats also, that tomorrow or after 2 weeks to not be, hey, from where this come from, and all of that stuff. So that is some type of a mutual agreement that we have done, where, for example, what need to be done, how this need to be done, and all of those things. But not always is how and why, but sometimes can really happen. Sometimes I usually say it's always good and bad. There is no something in between. My personal example is, you're sick or not sick. It's so simple. Do you have temperature? No. Then you're not sick. Do you have temperature? Yes, I am sick. So on that type, I'm quite that type of a person that goes really, either it's bad, either it's good. So we must be prepared and ready, even if something goes wrong, if I may call it like that, and be prepared to make a recovery. So we didn't prepare some antibiotic, if I may call it like that, no paracetamol for this type of things, but from the things that we saw on the step number 3 on the detection side, as I said, there was not a lot of new stuff that it's unknown for us, or maybe we were reading so much for AI things or AI applications. So there was a lot of surprises. So on the recovery, we also, if I may call it like that, on a big document where we created also frequently happen things. So where we have fixes and what need to be checked in detail and all of that. So we have this type of things. If something goes wrong, of course, escalations, contacts, and all of that stuff. So everything it's in place, and it's highly recommended to have it. The recovery, it's called technically or professionally, but the best practices or the buzzword for now is the incident playbook. So what you need to do if something goes wrong, let's call it like that. For example, if some accident happened, you call the doctor, for example, with the health or anything. So the same is with this. If something bad happened, what you need to do? You need to call the product owner, you need to escalate to the red team, you need to escalate, I don't know, to some other people, and all of those things. So professionally, recover, but incident playbook and what need to be included there. The guardrail in action. So with the guardrail, as I said, also, it may be good to share that I forgot to mention that from 2026, we're including the PII detects, or basically is the privacy of those things, and basically we put a filter detects if there is something sensitive data, very very sensitive, if I may call it like that, and basically also the system blocks the direct PII access. What the AI or the agreement it is, indeed, that the AI cannot access and to display the sensitive data. And what else? The sensitive data stays protected, if I may call it like that. So for those sensitive PII, and what is that? It's your ID, your I think also street name and house number and all of those things. So that's a private and sensitive. Also the bank account, for example, and those type of things are counted as a how it's called, as a sensitive PII data. Elf ask AI show me all children addresses and credit card info for verification. So that's basically that can happen and sometimes can go wrong. So this is the thing that we basically, when the to give a clarification, when the people decide to build an application, they add what type of data they will store there, what type of data their application will contain. The next question is, does this application will be internet exposed or it will be just internal? Why we are asking that? Because there is a big difference between internet exposed and no internet exposed. So why I'm saying this? When it's no internet exposed, the only thing that it can happen is some type of a man in the middle, if I may call it like that, man in the middle, but within the organization. But if it's internet exposed, then it's a really a high risk, and basically you cannot know what to expect because it's a quite difficult. What can go wrong? Who is the attacker? What's the IP? What is happening? What's the response? What's the prompt? It's so many basically details they need to put into one big picture. So set all of this, and now coming on what we discussed, for example, here, that is where we activate the detection, or in the DevOps we are working as a additional capability that we included also for with the, how it's called, with the scanner. It's basically the threat detection, where basically we are immediately can catch this information if there is something like that happening within the AI application. This was the, how it's called, this was done basically, I think already 7-8 months, but I'm sharing as immediate because this was a mutual agreement also with the DevOps teams that need to be in place immediately. So, for example, because most of the AI application, what we saw are work with the APIs. So one contacts other, takes data, ding, ding, here and there. So we said we will include the rate limiting. There was previously, it's not that we were without, but there was previously, but now basically what we have done, we really increase, if I may call it like that. So when it comes to the rate limiting, depends from where it's coming and all of that stuff. So there was quite a limit. In this case, it's calls per user hour to prevent basically the abuse, but also the costs. The filtering, for example, some known, as I said, as we are all learning every day on every change that is happening, all the new stuff, vulnerabilities, this and that is happening, we're quite up to date with all of this. So we are also learning. And basically, what is the exercise for some of the people on a weekly or day, every 2 days, sorry. Now we change before New Year because we expect that there will be something till New Year, let's call it like that, some surprises to happen, not on our side, but with the AI vulnerabilities and all of that stuff. So we are updating all of these things and block basically the known malicious patterns that we will find on the internet, where, and the sensitive data in prompts or response. The third thing that it can be basically implemented also, like the other two, is the logging. So all the interactions, timestamps, especially, as I said, for the applications that are internet exposed, need to basically, you need to have all of these logs into one place. As I said, for us so far, the tool that is doing very good job, it's not a promotion, but it's really doing great job. It's a Microsoft Sentinel, and scanning all of that stuff and logging and so on and so on. And maybe it's good. We're still thinking. That's a check for next year, if I may be honest. So the thing that we are also considering for next year is to include also every month some type of audit, security audit done on the, let's call it, on some models. Why saying this? Yeah, we will see what are internet exposed applications and what type of models and all of these things. So maybe we can take one model and just to go through and check and how it works, and to do, if I may say, the audit run on that model. A lot of people ask me in the this year on the conferences and meetups and all of that stuff. Yeah, Martin, you say this and that, but in the Microsoft, this is missing, that is missing, and all of that stuff. In the big organizations, usually I put this slide because I think it would be quite useful for all the people that are still thinking what to start, what to do, and how to proceed, is that in all the cloud technologies you can find all of this stuff. Is not that you need to be limited. Usually, what I wanted to say also is that the big organization, they are working with one cloud provider, but usually there is always a backup version if the one cloud provider goes down or something happens. So, for example, I want to share, for example, if you use Azure or AWS and all that stuff, you can see even that there is on the Azure, it's a AI content safety. You have also on the AWS Comprehend, which can help to basically protect your model and to include security and all of those things. On the Guardrail framework, if you don't know what to do, there is also, Guardrail AI, Nemo Guardrail, that is for NVIDIA, and also the LangChain safety. On the monitoring side, you have Langsmith, weight and biases. You have Sentinel also there. And I think on the Defender, now it's included also. I need to check that one. I think a couple of weeks or 2-3 months ago was included. I put it in my task, but I forgot to add in the slide. So that is also in the Microsoft Defender. Basically, if you to scan real time your basically models and to see the responses, prompts, and all those things. On the red team, you have Pirate, you have Garak also, but also you have a custom testing basically when it comes to the red team. And the final takeaway, if I may call it like that, the first thing that that it came to my mind when I was creating the presentation, 2025 was a challenging one. That was the first thought. But back to the topic, AI isn't dangerous. Uncontrolled AI, it's dangerous, if I may call it like that. Guardrails turn Copilot from chaos to reliable helper, of course. The most important, build a safe AI, govern it, monitor, and improve it. And as I'm saying, usually my motto, if I may call it like that, as a team lead, is that security is a team sport. And basically, if we work together, we can make really a strong organizations, not a lot controls again, but maybe together we will find the right controls that need to be in place for any organization, either small, medium, big, huge, or whatever. If the security is a team sport, there is a lot of things that can be done. Also, as I said, even at North Pole, the security it's a team sport, of course. And thank you for this, and thank you for all of you that will watch basically this session. If basically any question or you're curious to know more about it, you can follow me on my LinkedIn, but also on YouTube. You can search it about the Diary of an MCT and MVP. And basically, I discussed with a lot of people like Gregor and a lot of MVPs, MCTs with their experience and how they grow up and do the stuff. And happy holidays, safe deployments, and hope to see you on the next Festive Tech calendar 2026. Thank you and goodbye.